how long does it take your brain to fully reset from porn? The average time it takes a subject's neurochemistry to reset back to baseline after a prolonged period of porn exposure is 87 days. This is why a 90-day no-fap streak is called a full reboot. But this 90-day number is just a general estimate, and it can greatly vary depending on the duration, frequency, and intensity of your previous porn use. So the time it takes someone to fully reboot is always unique to them. However, here's 5 signs that'll let you know when you've achieved a full reboot. Number 1, when you have lustful thoughts, it's pretty much always about real women and not porn. Number 2, any porn-induced sexual dysfunction has gone away. Number 3, your neurological, internal triggers to watch porn are weak and infrequent. Number 4, your natural libido during real-life experiences has skyrocketed. And number 5, you can look back at the version of you who is still watching porn and you feel like a new man.
Yo, what up, YouTube? Welcome to Sinn-Take, man. My name is Sin, coming back with another one, man. And I had to show y'all that clip from Tyler Johnston, man. Shout out to Tyler Johnston, always putting it down for the no-fap community, man. Listen, so go follow him on Instagram whenever you get a chance, man. Because listen, no matter, what relapses you done had or whatever, that doesn't mean that you haven't gone through a full reboot. I just want you to know that. That doesn't mean that, what you doing and the work that you put in hasn't been effective. And it really do depend on the person. Like I tell you, bro, this journey is tailor-made for each and every one of us. You know what I'm saying? So your journey is your journey because we don't know, how long you've been doing it. Like he said, that shit depends on the frequency, how often you was fapping and watching pornography. You know what I'm saying? The duration, you know what I mean? Meaning how long you was doing that shit and the type of porn you was watching, how intense that shit was. So obviously the longer you've gone with that shit, then the longer it'll take for that shit to really leave out of your system. And even then, that doesn't mean that a relapse can't happen. But just because a relapse can, have happened, that doesn't mean that you haven't gone through a full-blown porn reboot to where that shit is out of you. Me personally, with, that shit being connected to, my drug addiction, alcohol addiction, sex in general and all of that shit, I know that this is lifelong. This is a lifelong journey for me, and I don't mind. I don't mind, bro. It is what it is. All I know is that I get better and I get stronger. And just past February 1st, bro, that's 2 years without pornography I've gone. You know what I'm saying? My last relapse was February 1st, 2021. And listen, bro, I've been able to stick with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, the other relapses, that's just from sex, edging, you know what I mean? And using my mind, just squeezing one out and shit. But other than that, no pornography. So even then, I still know that I have to keep my foot on the gas. And you got to do the same, no matter what. Because it's just like he said, it all depends on the person. You know what I mean? How long you been watching porn? You know what I'm saying? How frequently you been fapping? The kind of shit that you was watching. So it really is tailor fit for each of us in different ways. You know what I'm saying? So however you picked it up and how whatever effects it had on you, that's you. That's what make this journey yours. And that's why we just got to keep it going, bro. And no matter how long you went, on the streak or whatever, like they say, like 87, 90 days, that's when it should be out of your system. But personally, it just still depends, man. It just still depends. And just because you may have relapsed after going a certain amount of days, I mean, people, listen, I didn't went over, 200 days and then hit 100 days multiple times. 90 days, I don't know how many times. 60 days, I don't know how many times. But even then, you still have visions of pornography. You know what I'm saying? You still may have an urge every once in a while. And that's just facts, bro. Like that shit damn near imprinted on you. But that doesn't mean that you have to react to it. That's just something that just plays in your mind because of, how much, that shit was just, how much that shit was just in you, bro. And a lot of times, man, when you doing some shit from teenage years and, throughout your 20s, and some people in their 30s, 40s still having their struggles with it, man, listen, bro, it's gonna be, you're gonna have your trials and tribulations with that shit. But that doesn't mean that you haven't gone through your reboot. You just gotta continue to put in work. And like you said, with the 5 signs, one of the 5 signs was that, when you do have lustful thoughts, right? You're not thinking about porn stars in those lustful thoughts. Now, because you went through your reboot, you thinking about real women. You thinking about women that you done seen at the gym, probably some co-workers that you done seen, in the office. People that somebody you done seen at the grocery store, who knows? But when you have these moments, bro, you're not thinking about porn stars and shit like that. Now you thinking about real people in your real reality. You know what I'm saying? Another sign he said that you done gone through a porn reboot was the fact that you start getting, your real sensory back. And I just say that, like your real, like things that affected you because of pornography, like erectile dysfunction, the ability to not even, to ejaculate, finish, shit like that. It's people that then had that struggle. You know what I mean? People can't get hard, all types of shit. When you start getting that shit back, that porn is leaving your system. So now that shit just ain't all up in here. Like you need that shit to, before you smash, you need that shit to get hard. You need that shit to finish, or you probably do finish and still find yourself fapping afterwards. I done been through that. But when you don't need that shit no more and you start feeling like all your shit coming back that you had naturally, bro, that's another indication that, like, listen, like you going through your reboot. It may not be fully, but you starting to get some of your things back. You starting to get some of your manhood back. Your senses turning on, like I always tell you. You know what I'm saying? In the spaceship. You know what I mean? So that's a good sign. Another sign is that no more cravings like that. You don't crave it like you used to. Like, man, listen, if I didn't go through a reboot and I was still having those same cravings like I would in the morning, like I would every time I seen some ass, like I would every time I seen a fine chick, like I would at night and shit, listen, bro, like I would have been gave up. But the more I put in work, those cravings started to leave. So that's why I'm 2 years without pornography, because those cravings started to leave, bro. I was like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, that helped me out a lot. Plus the strength from the Most High, because I needed that strength. You know what I'm saying? I needed that strength. That's why you got to thank the Most High every day, just from the mere fact that you here on this journey and actually taking it serious. You actually being productive. You actually seeing the changes in you, bruh, because we needed this shit, bruh. You know what I'm saying? It was like being possessed. And how the fuck we gonna get to the level that we trying to get to when we possess, when we always thinking about shit like that? You know what I mean? When we can't even, just view women as women. You know what I'm saying? And still be able to, be you. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the things that just hurt damn near the most. Like, bro, you should still be able to see beautiful women and women in general and acknowledge that, but still be yourself without you jumping out of your body, without you wanting to fap, without you wanting to be on some simp ass shit, without you wanting to be on some thirsty ass shit, without you having just a reaction to where you losing focus. Nah, bro, it's one of the best things we have now. Now we can see women, we ain't gotta view them in that light, and we could just be grown men about that shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's another indication that porn is leaving your body. It's not controlling all of your feelings and emotions and making you want to do some low vibrational shit. That's when you know, like, listen, this shit is really leaving my body. This shit is getting out of me, bro. Another indication he named is that your libido is going to be up. So listen, you ain't going to have no problem. you could probably just even have a thought in your shit. You know what I'm saying? You gonna be ready to go, and on top of that, bro, you know what I mean? You gonna go, you know, you gonna do your thing. But me personally, bro, like I'm gonna keep it 100 with you though. Being on this journey and having sex, bro, like listen, like I be quick as hell, and that becomes an issue with myself. You know, I know my girl ain't complaining because I still know things that I can do and shit like that. Not trying to put our business out there, but still though, you know, that makes me feel like, damn, you know what I'm saying? But that's because of retaining. You know what I'm saying? That's because I got my senses back. Before, when I was watching porn and shit and fapping all the time and releasing all the time, hell yeah, you gonna be, you know what I'm saying? You gonna be able to put in that work. You know, especially when I was under the influence, you know what I'm saying? Alcohol, you know what alcohol do? You know, but now my shit's sensitive, bro. You know what I'm saying? My shit's sensitive, so I gotta figure out that. But listen, either way, the number one thing is that I'm staying focused on this journey, and I know that I'm where I'm where I need to be. I'm who I need to be, and that shouldn't even be something that you let fuck with you like that. You know what I'm saying? That shouldn't be something that it's motherfuckers out there struggling because they can't release because they watch so much damn porn. You know what I mean? And they need that. So which one would I rather have? You know, the fact that, you know, my shit mad sensitive, you know, but I still get hard as a motherfucking rock, or just the fact that you can't even get hard as a motherfucking rock and you need pornography just for you to, you know, get your shit up. You know what I'm saying? I choose having the sensitive shit. I choose having, you know, my full feelings and, you know what I'm saying? Like all my sensories working to where my shit getting up. You know what I'm saying? To where I can release easy, to where I don't need to watch fucking pornography. I don't need to do no extra shit, none of that shit, bro. And that's just like, listen, it's just like I said, bro, it's just like being a teenager again. You know what I'm saying? It's like being like, you know, somebody going through their puberty, you know what I'm saying? And seeing just a piece of something and, you know, able to just be up, like boom, you know, like damn, but you gotta be careful though with that shit. You know what I'm saying? So I take that, but you know, like you said, one of the things is that your libido will be up. And sometimes, and for real, honestly, when it comes to sex, because I'm not the first person that said this to where, you know what I mean, they don't last too long when they do have sex, you know what I'm saying, because of semen retention. Really, like, honestly, like, if you get that first one out of the way and then you go for round two, then obviously, since you got that first one out of the way, since you've been retaining, after that, round two, you will be able to, you know what I mean, do your thing. You know, where you really gonna feel your libido, like you going long and you doing your shit. So don't trip about that. Either way, that's another sign that you've gone through a full porn reboot. You know what I'm saying? And the last but not least is that when you think about the person that you was when you was watching pornography, you know what I'm saying? When you was in that dark space, when you was lusting all the time, you know what I mean? When you was horny all the time, when you was letting, you know, the Jezebel spirit all in your body and soul and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, that person is completely different from who you are now when you realize that. And you be like, hell no, I never want to go back to that dude again because the person that you are is so much more cooler. You know what I mean? You are so much more confident. You know, you not lusting out here. You're not chasing out here. You putting all that energy into yourself. And you look back at the past of the old version of you, and you like, I ain't never going back to that person. That person was so unfocused. That person was out here would do whatever, you know what I mean, just for these females, just to get a piece of ass. This person was out here fapping, low on energy, whole life low vibration. You know what I'm saying? Couldn't connect with the Most High, you know, because of the activities that they was doing. Like, listen, bro, you go think about that old you. And listen, bro, you ain't gonna want to be that person. It's like two different people from who you was to who you are now. And that's an indication that you've gone through a full porn reboot because you don't even know that person. You know that person, but you don't want to be that person ever again. So those are the signs of that shit. And I needed to see that shit too, because at the end of the day, you know, we get so caught up into this shit, and you know, when you go through a relapse, or you know, you know, some people, you know, feel bad about some of the nocturnal emissions, the wet dreams that they have. Listen, bro, none of that shit mean that you haven't gone through a reboot, you know, and everybody is different. So when you reach that 90 days, that 87 days, whatever the case may be, and you just feel like totally just like different, like, listen, bro, that's a huge milestone. That's a huge milestone, but understand that that doesn't mean that your work is over. I'm proof of that. And a lot of other guys are proof of that shit too. You know, so don't get lax just because you hit 90 days. Nah, bro. Like, I didn't, listen, I'm well over 100 and I done been over 200 and something, man. And listen, bro, that shit still will sit in the back of your mind. So never get lax, keep putting in work, and keep moving forward, because you're winning right now, all right? And that's my word, man. My name is Sinn, and Sinn-Take. Holla at y'all later, man. Peace.
First I'ma get on my grind, then second stop wasting my time on shit less important. If ain't about money, I'm going the other direction. And third, I'ma do what I gotta to eat. Fourth, I'ma sew up the streets. Fifth, I'ma never quit dropping this heat. So as long as I'm breathing, you better get used to me. Sixth, I'ma get